kinds of people we're looking at here. Two different situations. If we both walked onto a plane, I would be the pilot, you would be a passenger. I am an innovator. You are an imitator. I'm a leader. You are a follower. I am a winner, and all of you are losers.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Exit stage left. Exit stage right. There is no place to run. All the fuses in the exit signs have been burned out. Now I'm the one doing the challenging.
And starting this moment from now, from this moment on, this will be the moment, starting now, of the genesis of
the Professors of Wrestling.
Are you ready?
It is the final countdown.
I know. On a lot of things.
On a lot of things. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. We need to mention NWA. I totally forgot to put that in the notes.
It will come up for sure.
Awesome.
Welcome to the Professors of Wrestling. I'm Dorrian.
I'm Dave.
And we want to be Taco Bell famous, so subscribe to our YouTube page. We're currently working on new content for 2020, making sure we end out 2019 on the right way as well. Like the Facebook page. Let us know what you think and provide us with feedback and suggestions.
Did you say follow us on YouTube also? Or subscribe?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry. I'm in my own world right now.
We're here.
Yes, we are.
Follow us on Instagram at Theprofessors of Wrestling. Share it all. Spread the word. Join in the discussion because we want to be a community.
Yes. Well, this is this week's sponsor.
Hi, this is Dave from the Professors of Wrestling. I'm at 1803 Plum Street, home of Ben Owens Music, where they've got basses, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, violins, keyboards, guitar pedals, amps, instrument repair, guitar, drum, and piano lessons. Learn from the experts. Ben Owens Music, Valdosta's music store.
And we want to thank Ben Owens for being a sponsor of the Professors of Wrestling. And we have botch takes from the last episode.
This one comes courtesy of Bo Morgan. Thank you for calling us out on it. We pronounced Vince Lewis's name wrong. We called him Morrison. Vince Lewis has been working really hard this year. He is one of the most underrated guys in the area, and he busts his ass on every show he's on, according to Bo Morgan and us. So we apologize for saying your name incorrectly.
Thanks for Bo pointing that out. That was probably me, and I get probably Vince and his brother mixed up because I don't know, a lot going on. But that's a my botch on there. So I apologize to both Vinny and Bo. And Bo is a very passionate super fan of the Punkadelic, so thanks for keeping us honest.
Yes. This one I found when I was editing up the show. We caught our own botch. It was Hood Star Dark Rage who won, not the Soviet Assassin at SWA Revolution.
And that was me when creating this, but we totally overlooked it when we were reviewing the show notes.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we were as wishful thinking. Projecting who we wanted to win.
And then, if you also look at the footage, Hood Star Dark Rage didn't win fairly. So
has he ever won maybe one match?
Maybe one.
A clean pin.
But it was probably long ago.
Yes.
In news, this one comes down from the Georgia Wrestling History. They want you to DM your nominee suggestions for the 2019 GWH Wrestling Awards to the Georgia Wrestling History Facebook page. Nominees will be announced on December 10th edition of Tipping Point.
We will post a link to that on the Facebook page for those to click and go, because one category That was when I was looking through the categories on that is referee for the year and Duke Silver. We need to keep him. He's been winning kind of like the ref of the month for some of that. Mm-hmm. Let's support our own people.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Let's boost Duke up.
Yes. Hybrid Pro is happening January 4th in Daleville, Alabama at VFW Post 6020. Bell time as at 7 p.m. It is, and the title of the show is New Year Reckoning. This was one show we were talking about going about, but I don't think you're going to be back. I don't know what my status is going to be as far as travels as well. So maybe we might be checking out Hybrid Pro sometime in 2020, but we will not be there for the January 4th show.
Yeah, so if you're there, send us all the videos and photos so that we can talk and maybe bring in Hybrid Pro to the South Georgia.
Yeah, yes. Within our driving range, which may expand in 2020.
Yeah. Now comes for my favorite part of the show. It is DCCW, Destiny Combat Championship Wrestling. They're back at Baker County December 14th with their biggest show of the year. That's graduation day, and unfortunately we get to go to graduation and celebrate our students, so we will not be able to make it.
Yes. And that's a conflict. And then we go to NWA the next day.
Yeah.
On there. That's also another conflict that could probably happen. Spinebuster. Update on them. Spinebuster will be back in January for Chaos at the Coliseum. Date to be announced later. We will know that because we're doing a pre-show.
So I hope we know.
I hope we know. The only match that's finalized is a fatal four-way for the Gladiator Championship between Hanson, Cassius Mack, Brother Azrael, and Proc the Croc. Now that, I just want to note on that is something I think we've been vigilant about how Cassius Mack he's been the Gladiator Champion. He won. Can't deny it.
True.
But in the spirit of what that belt's about, has not defended it, I think, properly.
He is no David Ali.
No, and he's always looking for affirmations.
Yeah. Good job, good guy.
Yeah, good job of not defending the Gladiator Championship correctly. So we'll talk more about that in 2020. All titles will be defended, and GM Johnny Maverick, the best-dressed GM in the South Georgia region, to be honest, has some special lineup for the main event. Do you want to talk about this one? I was pretty excited when I saw this one came across the wire.
Me too. I looked back, and I was just like, are you serious? So we were told J2 Strong's next opponent is someone we will hate. And I can only imagine where that goes. So
I definitely know who that's going to be, and I'm excited about that. And if you're interested in getting into the wrestling business, first thing you need to do is you need to find an academy. And Spinebuster Wrestling Academy is always looking for men and women that want to be the next superstar in the ring, whether it's a wrestler, a referee, a manager, a valet, etc., etc. Hit them up at 229-300-5729 and let them make your dream come true.
Sunbelt SWE is bringing in new talent and bigger matches. Payne will be challenged in 2020. Can you imagine that? Payne will be challenged.
That has been a bit of in the threads on the Facebook page.
Who can challenge?
Who can challenge it? I want to go back to Cassius Mack.
Yeah.
Who has been avoidant of challenges. I like Mike Payne. Book it. Book it. You know, he's all like, "Where? Book it." I'm excited to see what Mike Payne's going to bring in 2020.
Sunbelt will be coming back in January. Until then, they wish everyone a great and safe holiday.
Yes. SWA Countdown to Chaos 19 is happening Saturday, December 21st at 7 p.m. in Pavo. On the card include the tag team of SCOTUS. I believe that's how you pronounce that.
I really hope that's
I hope we did. If not, Dan Leiden or Scyther, please message us or send us a MP3 or a WAV file how that's pronounced. We'll be going after tag team champions, Task Force. I don't know if that's a belt or that's the belt on the line or not.
I hope so. I mean, otherwise.
Yeah. Alexander Knight and El Nino have unsettled business. That is probably, and I'll be 100% honest, of everything on the bill here, that's the match that I wish I could see.
For sure. Will El Nino cheat again?
Yeah.
Will Ember Cato be there?
And it's not fake news if we have actual empirical evidence proving
that El Nino is a cheater.
Exactly. On there. The Madam of Mischief, Roxy Rouge. We didn't want to say Rogue, but that's where I was inclining to. Defends her SWA Women's Championship against her newcomer, Avista Varlow, excuse me. And battling Bill Weaver is looking for some payback against the scoundrel Rod Grimes. Others to appear include Preston Vest and Dark Raid, Soviet Assassin, Chris Spider, Aiden Knight, and more. We will be both. I will be on my way to my parents' house for the holidays, and you will be at your parents' house for the holidays at that point in time.
Yeah.
So again, any pictures, any videos, like Cam, we know you're going to be there. Rod Grimes is going to be there. Beatrice, any images you get, if you could just post it up on the Facebook page, we will be checking that through the holidays. And let us know what you think about that. And then on January 4th, in 2020, SWA is coming strong with New Beginnings in Newton, Georgia. There's a lot going on January 4th.
There is.
The Night of Champions on January 18th in Pavo, Georgia. 25th of January is the return to Warusa, Florida. So it looks like SWA is coming strong in 2020. And for the Professors of Wrestling news, do you want to talk about this?
Check out our YouTube page. We just put up the James Adams Raw. He's the owner of Raw. We put up his interview. We'll be doing an interview with Brooke Robinson.
Yes.
From Sunbelt, and you'll get to see that. There will be so much more content in 2020 that it's going to be crazy.
I think like we'll be talking about this kind of towards the end of when we get to something to chew on, stuff like that. We've been seriously in between classes and when we're on the road. What do we want to do to grow this more? But anyway, things we're thinking about expanding within our driving radius, and I pitched these, and we need to discuss these. But the U.S. Wrestling Alliance on January 4th is having something in Jacksonville, the Don Curtis Memorial Cup. There seems the task force I know is going to be there, and some people we're familiar with, but I think it's something we should consider. And also in Jacksonville, there's Continental Championship Wrestling. If there's something other regional independent promotions within a fair amount of driving distance for us, we can do it. Do it and then get back. Let us know. There's a lot of great independent promotions out there that we're just now discovering because people are reaching out. So you, the listener, have something, or you're a promoter, let us know. We'd love to talk about you.
Cool. Now we get to our audience takes.
Yes.
And I was going through it, and I was like, wow, you pitched this a few months ago when we started, and we maybe had like 3.
Yeah.
And now our audience takes are growing, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
So the first one comes from Clint. What former pro wrestler would you like to see visit a local promotion?
I think this had to tie into when we went the anti-bullying event. They had Duke the Dumpster Dross there at the last show at the Solid Rock the past year.
Yeah. For me, let's see.
Yeah.
I think Ric Flair would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think he was closer to the Valdosta area at once.
I think he was over in Thomasville for some sort of show. He did like some kind of spoken word thing.
Yeah, so if he can just make his way to Valdosta, that'd be pretty cool.
I think that's in Thomasville. You would like to see him in Valdosta?
Imagine, what is it, Ric Flair walking up to Preston Paradise.
Knife chopping.
See who can get it.
I want to throw this out. Bill Weaver responded to Clint wanting Jerry Lawler.
That'd be the king. See what he does.
What pro wrestler? This is just the man of 1,000 holds.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I'm totally drawing a blank. He was one part of the. Arn Anderson would be one. I know he loves Pensacola. We're not that far from Pensacola. In AEW is based out of Orlando, Jacksonville. So, oh man, I'm totally drawing a blank, and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna call him Botch on my. Anyway, I'll post it up later.
Okay.
I can't think of it. The man of 1,000 holds. Chris Jericho did a goof on him in WCW, where he'd be like, "I've got 1,001 holds" and all that stuff. So, I'm sure you're yelling at your screens, your phones right now, telling me exactly who this person is, and I've done it a million times myself. But that I would like to see him just because I've always liked him as a technical wrestler.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it. All right. So Johnny Romano, Vernon Black, The Storm, will be bigger than ever in 2020. Do you think?
Whew. The Storm self-made a declaration
That is true.
that this is the new Storm.
Uh-huh.
He needs to restart it. He's kickstarting his legacy. He wants to move up the food chain, move into bigger promotions, wants to be not just regionally known, but nationally known, if not internationally known. So I hope that happens. I mean, that can only come from what the wrestlers want, and are they going to put the work and the effort into it?
For sure.
So,
And then you also got Vernon Black, who mentioned on the Facebook page that he was going to be going after that one promotion that connects with NWA.
yes. Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko.
I wanted to look that up real quick.
The man of 1,000.
1,000 holds.
Okay.
Anyway, so success comes from, like, some of it's luck, some of it's the right place, the right time, but you have to put the work and effort into it. So we know the Storm grinds and puts it out. And also, I would say, like, particularly when you're dealing with entertainment industry things and you're dealing with that, is everybody's definition of success is going to be a little bit different.
All right.
So, yeah,
Maybe not even maybe big promotions isn't his.
or anybody in here's thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Vernon Black, who I know is going to be part of that NWA, that we're going to get to see some of that.
Yeah.
That is success to them. You know, Effie doesn't want to sign to a major promotion, or so he said through his social media. You know, being able to make a living at this could be a success. You know, I mean, there's different levels of that, Clint. So,
I want to skip one just so we can keep it
yeah.
cohesive. The Storm will debut on TV with a big promotion in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope. I mean, we've been talking about his legacy for a while. We've interviewed him. We followed him for a whole day.
Yeah.
So we hope that he ups his ante and we get to see that. And then, Sunbelt, Spinebuster, and Solid Rock will continue to put on great shows in 2020.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, we've already heard about Spinebuster and what they plan to do in January.
I think that's just a statement of fact.
That is true.
That's more of a declaration of fact.
This last one's pretty interesting because I didn't even know they could be a tag team. But imagine this: Bill Weaver battling Bill, and Landon Lashley teaming up to become tag team champions.
I can see that
in 2020.
For what, like Sunbelt?
Sunbelt would be cool. Give the Kings of Mayhem a run for their money.
DCCW.
True. Hayden Price is probably down there, ready for it. So.
Yes. And he would like to see himself a guest fan in 2020. That is something we need to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of change. There's some changes we want to make to the show, Clint, and getting fan participation involved in the show is one of them. How that's going to look, that's something we have some ideas, but we still kind of need to make them a little bit more clearer and what we want and how that's going to happen. So we're not saying no, but we're not saying yes to that point. To your point right there. And we're working on merch. I think definitely shirts are a thing that are going to happen in 2020.
Legit. In the words of Mike Payne, book it.
Yes.
This one comes from Alexander Knight.
Nightmare Syndicate.
Do we have any predictions for title changes in 2020? We'll tackle this one before we hit a second point.
I would say this is okay. I get it. I should have seen it. I'm gonna say SWA heavyweight belt is it's gonna be lost.
You think James Morrison's not going to hold it for the rest of 2020?
I think he's gonna lose it.
Who would he lose it to?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have 100% answer to that, but you're gonna because I mean you could predict that the Punkadelics reform.
And so this doesn't become their main concern, the individual titles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a great tag team.
They were. I mean, the only people that they couldn't beat were the Renegades.
Exactly.
And
I think also for Spinebuster, I added an S accidentally for Spinebuster.
yeah.
Tag team champions again.
I don't see Mako and
Preston holding on.
BTB is ready.
Yeah. There's a lot we're seeing. And I'm going to say Lexi Gomez holds on to her belt.
For sure. I think she'll make it through 2020.
Yeah. What about you?
I say J2 Strong doesn't make it past March.
Okay.
Cassius Mack doesn't make it past January.
No.
There's no way he makes it out of that. I'll take the risk on this one. I say Mike Payne loses before May.
Really?
I'll take the risk on it. Mike Payne will lose his belt before May.
All right. Book it.
Book it.
I think the Kings of Mayhem lose their belt this year, or in 2020.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this one. This is also from Alexander Knight. Any predictions for Rising Stars in 2020?
Okay. I got this one.
Okay.
Hunter Young.
Check. Book it.
He rises to the top. Maybe he'll be the one to take on Mike Payne. I think you look at, what is it? Proc the Croc. He's young. He's a rising star.
Yeah.
Alexander Knight. Even though it's his question, yeah, we'll put him in there.
Yeah.
Chris Spider, we saw him get his first win. In a
legit win.
A legit win in a long time, so we'll see where that goes. Who else is a rising star?
The Scorcher.
The Scorcher, yeah, he has turned his whole career around from the Dragon to the Scorcher.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. Hope My Beard will be interesting to see where he goes, what he tackles after this whole Gladiator Championship. And then, I guess, finally, Mako. What is Mako all about?
I would like to throw in there Eddie Honcho,
Yes.
Bryce Canyon.
Canyon. Fire.
I want to throw Lexi Gomez in there, too.
Okay.
And Kylie, she wore the purple, she went against
Kylan King.
Kylie King. I saw her down at Fest in October. I was super impressed, and it was in a 3-way mixed match. I would throw Kimbra.
And Kato. Okay.
Kato. I would even throw, begrudgingly, El Nino.
When he's on point, he's on point. I'll give him that.
Yeah, when he's not like playing these high school games.
So.
In his own head. So there's a ton of young talent out. I would throw in Star. Is it Ashton Star?
I want to say so.
Ashton Star, young talent. And if we wanted to be even this, you would say like she came back for the ladder match.
Shalandra Royale.
I mean, she's still a young face. She's already kind of got an AEW kind of like part-time contract. I don't know the officials to it, but she's a rising star.
These are just some names that we're throwing out there, and we hope that we get your feedback on who do you think, or what are some predictions for rising stars in 2020 as they are growing and those at the top are watching.
Yes.
We're not at the top. We're talking about the other wrestlers.
Correct.
So this one comes from Preston Paradise. Here's his predictions for 2020. It's a long list. He's a talker.
It's almost like, I would just say, with the holiday seasons coming up, is going to get a lot of coal in his stocking.
Yeah, that is true. This first one is Professors of Wrestling won't be Taco Bell famous. I like a challenge.
Book it.
AMH will dominate 2020. That's fake news. Preston Paradise will still have the best spine buster in the business. I can account for that. Good deal.
Is it Arn Anderson? Maybe we should do a comparison of Arn Anderson's spine buster to Preston Paradise's spine buster.
Man, I tried to give him hope, but we'll see.
All right.
Hold My Beer Hansen will still be drunk somewhere. Maybe. Johnny Maverick will be trying to hold up Law and Order and Spine Buster. Blah, blah, blah.
Why do we have to be throwing shade to the best dressed GM, commissioner, whatever his title is, in the business? Because he came in when both Connor and Shotgun Charlie Walker couldn't maintain law and order.
That is true.
So, regardless, because he can't, I can totally respect Johnny Maverick. It's somebody who was in the ring, and you know that I can't be in his head, but I'm gonna say his passion is in the ring.
Right.
When you see other people doing what you want to do, but you can't because of whatever reason, it's got to be gut-wrenching. So, still be involved with Spinebuster, still be involved with the business, the industry, and take the passion you had in the ring, outside the ring. Hats off to the man. So, why the hate?
Man, it's starting to sound like the 12 Days of Christmas.
It
but
is.
David Ali will still be a street fighter. I don't know. Let's put him in a street fight and see what he does.
Yeah.
Cassius Mack will still claim to be a good guy. Good guy.
Yes.
Proc will still be wrestling them gators in the swamp. J2 Strong will still be trying to kick people in the head, most likely.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for that 22 from J2 Strong.
Yeah. Pure Goodness will still scream goodness. Goodness. Can Brother Azrael make a name for himself this year? I truly hope so.
That is something we've been talking about
for the longest.
Yeah, that's been one of our mantras.
I mean, we did it for a while with the Scorcher.
Yeah.
We were just like, man, will this person make a name for themselves? What are they doing? And then
it seemed like the Scorcher took a sabbatical.
And then he got better.
Yeah.
So I hope that Brother Azrael makes a name for himself in 2020. The Scorcher will still be spitting fire.
Yes.
Hashtag PSC will be whining and dining and 69ing.
There's no reference. I get the last part right there. I don't know what hashtag PSC, so we need kind of like references, context.
So if you know what hashtag PSC is, fill us in.
Please.
The Sweeper will still be sweeping. I don't know. I see big things for the Sweeper.
I hope so as well.
If you're not an AMH, you will be irrelevant.
That's a bold statement.
I mean, AMH is starting to lose some belts.
AMH, the last for the was it the Halloween show?
Yeah,
that was his last show for 2019.
Havoc.
Havoc seemed to be fade. They were super. We can't deny they came strong in September,
but then they faded into the back.
And then it was just like, they just got sucked out to the sea, lost their mojo, whatever it was. So we'll see.
Hunter Mako will still be the longest reigning Spartan champion. Well, I mean, for sure, because he had it for over 365 days, and a year is only 365 days. Basic math.
Yes.
Spinebuster will still be the place on Wednesday nights in Valdosta, and that is true.
And we are thankful for that.
So, remember, save Mathis Auditorium, and also support indie wrestling.
Please do.
Thank you, Richie. That's all for Audience Takes. It's been a wonderful year of those.
Yes, thank you for participating in that, which brings us to our part where we pontificate on stuff and junk of wrestling, sometimes non-wrestling as well. But this week, and we had this on the last show, and I wrote it down at one point where you take, no, if I don't write this down, I'm going to forget about it. I wrote it down, but I forget the context for it.
Right.
So, what I wanted to talk about last show and then realized after we had released that episode, I was like, rules for audience. And this is particularly after we saw the Lean Ox Festival show, when they did the dog dog collar match is, and we've talked about this too. I mean, even today, like 24, like the gladiator belt rules. Like we were like, what are the rules to that? Why did Royale get the belt, or why did Sunny Days win it? Then all of a sudden David Ali comes back with it, and our thing was like, what's up with this? And then they go, you got to go watch this thing. As fans, as marks, whatever you want to call us, you have to give context a little bit because not everybody's going to be at every show. I mean, we've been at shows where somebody's missed and we've like, what happened? And we had to explain what happened last month or build up to it because they had to, they couldn't make it for whatever reason. I understand that's part of it and that's part of the fan experience. But I think it's important for promotions to do their best through social media, whether it's through the promos going on there, and help provide what are the rules. And I put in an example, Watt's rules. You're like, what's going on? He explained it in the ring, right? So we kind of get the gimmick and we get the thing going on there. So
had a whole hashtag for it.
Whole hashtag for it. Gives you context and you buy into it. Going back to the dog collar thing, if you're not familiar with the dog collar match, you would just think, oh, there's going to be, chained to each other and they're going to wail on each other. It's going to be a pinfall or a submission or a count out or something to that effect. But no, when a dog collar match, you got to hit go hit the turnbuckle in each corner, and the first one to hit all four is the winner. Now, obviously, you catch on to that pretty quick, but give a little bit of context to what's going on to the fan, I mean, I think a lot of people that tend to go, these are wrestling fans at some level, but if you just move new to the area, or you get a casual or somebody stumbling, like, what's going on there, help them understand what's going on. I think that helps out with storyline. And in this day and age where we have all these ways to reach out to people, why not use those formats to do it? Even if you have to repost something from months old, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we
build hype.
It helps build hype. It helps, because we forget about it because there's so much going on in those matches. What do you think?
I would definitely think that would help as these matches get posted online.
Uh-huh.
I think it's easier, just like how the NFL still explains overtime rules, to even just throw up a graphic before the match. And then it goes right into it. And that would help those watching online, maybe of what it is. And yeah, some of the rules because I was one of those people who walked back over and I saw them with the dog collars and chained together. But I thought, yeah, it's just going to be them pinning. But when you told me the whole premise of the match, I was just like, okay. I didn't know this.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the point of a lumberjack match? Why are you having those people out there? I love the lumberjack matches.
2020, let's
go. So, I mean, even if it's what the point of a ladder match, right? Explain what that is. So help educate. I think part of the job is you want to help educate the fan. And not to make them smart marks or anything along that lines, but help them understand the storyline. I think, too, that helps maybe build the story a little bit of what's going on.
That is true. Our first episode was February 17th, 2019.
We kept saying March, so that's a botch take on our part.
Yeah, so go us for even doing it longer than what we thought.
Yes.
Some highlights for the Professors of Wrestling. I would say on my end, getting to interview, The Storm?
Yeah.
In Rod Grimes. Doing the first pre-show.
Yeah.
The pre-shows have definitely been pretty exciting, and their meanings behind them in the different places that we did them. So those have been some cool highlights for me.
I think the highlights, and I may have mentioned this on the Thanksgiving one, is one, the fan support. And I think another one is support from the promotions. And another one really important is support from the wrestlers. That's pretty cool because I think we just initially started doing this as there's a gap in here.
How do you connect? There's a lot of cool things going on, and how do people get to know about this? What's one way you can do it? And I think if you're a promotion, you want to focus on your promotion. You can't talk about all the different promotions around the area. I mean, I totally get that. So, what's one thing as a fans we can do to talk about things we enjoy doing? And I think also transparency is we talk about this stuff in the classroom too.
the impact it has and all the social media stuff. But I didn't expect it, like, when I started, like, looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the feedback. And I'm even this episode, like, Richie and Alex and Clint, who's just come on gangbusters, and Beatrice and all that stuff. So I think that's really cool, and that motivates us to, like, oh, we got to do... But so that pushes us. We always talk about, like, how promotions and wrestlers need to set the bar and challenge each other. And, like, oh, man, I just went to blank and blank promotion, and now the other promotion wide then needs to kind of like follow suit and bring it hard, you know, bring their A game to it. So with all these feedback and also the promotions too, challenge, you know, questioning stuff and you know, putting better pushing their content is pushing us out there. So I think highlight is how everything has just elevated to a new level.
Right.
And like that's why we're working to produce new content in 2020. Like, I think, like, the James Madison interview.
James Adams.
James Madison was a president, wasn't he?
He was.
I liked how you whispered that to me. That's why I tend to do most of the botches, too. Because I'm spur of the moment, very impromptu. But, you know, the James Adams interview and him reaching out to us and wanting to participate, which I think is really cool.
Yes.
I think doing the pre-live show stuff has been definitely excellent. So... I think meeting all these different people has been pretty good. I think I disagree with Richie because I think we're going to be Taco Bell famous.
So he can book that.
Yeah, book it.
Now we're here for a really cool point of the show. It is end of the year awards.
What are we going to call these?
Superlatives?
No, do we have a specific name for what we're going to call our awards? Like the Proffies?
The Proffies are...
You know, you have the Emmys, the CMAs. Do we...
At this point, we're spitballing, right? Like this.
Yeah,
point,
this is we're not evaluating. This is the brainstorming thing. Or we don't have a name this year.
Yeah.
And then next year, it's the annual so-and-so, and we pretend we never had this conversation.
I understand. What's that thing called that LaPlante does? In the symposium.
Yeah.
It's a symposium.
Okay.
I don't know. That's pretty lame. Not like...
We'll work on that. We'll take suggestions from the audience, but we'll just call them the end of the year awards right now.
Yeah, end of the year awards.
Because I stepped on you there, but we weren't planning on doing this, but Sam Skaggs suggested that we do these, and these are his categories.
Cool.
And I know Spinebuster has also been doing them as well, so...
Let's fill it in.
All right.
Favorite feud this year?
What are yours?
Mine would have to be Conor Mason and David Ali. It was something that drug through social media and the shows and into their personal lives.
Yeah.
I think that's how you really handled a feud, and that one was pretty fun to watch.
I would almost like, God dang, that's good. I was thinking more wrestler and wrestler. So, I mean, you could almost throw in there Shotgun Charlie Walker and Conor Mason as well.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. What I had thought was Renegades and Task Force.
Okay.
Because that started out, Renegades were heels and Task Force were faces.
And then the switch.
And then the switch happened. And I thought it was, that was a great feud. I don't feel like I've gotten closure on that, and Beatrice would probably be in agreement with it. It's one of the things we talk about is like, when are we going to get that final kind of closure on it? But I tend to love the tag teams. Probably one of my favorite of the
feuds.
Of the feuds, yes.
I'll let you take this one. Your favorite match?
I thought about this. I went through the notes and looked at everything we talked about. Research a little bit. And I'm going to say Mako and J2 Strong. And the reason is we saw J2 Strong in his first match back since the thing, and it was like, whew. But he brought it kind of strong in that short amount of time. And I'm not a super fan of the hardcore, but man, I can't believe what they did. I was just that was the main event that night, right?
Yes. That was the main event.
Like you would, that was, when you talk about what a main event needs to be, like I don't know what could have followed that.
Yeah, that match was something that was high up for that night.
And I think for all the hype that they put behind it and all the the social media stuff behind it. Usually, sometimes that stuff doesn't reach that mark, and it met the hype.
All right, my favorite match of the year, I gotta go with Logan Creed versus Johnny Maverick. And that was my favorite one. It was a 3-month build-up.
Yeah.
We saw all these people trying to get in. We saw the inception of when Logan Creed first came into Spinebuster and how he rose to the top, winning the the briefcase, having to go against Johnny Maverick, having to go against Hayden Price. It was just the build-up for me in that match, and how it finally ended was something of pure respect between all of those people, those involved.
Okay. All right. I did think about that one for half a second.
What?
The one I thought, well, what about Johnny Maverick and Logan Creed? But yeah.
I'm just out here giving names. Favorite heel?
You go first this time.
Mine, I'd have to go with... I'll go with Rod Grimes.
Okay.
Rod Grimes, I'll say him because no matter which promotion you put him in, he's still the same person. He's still out there to make the audience hate him, and he's going to do what he needs to do to win. So that's why I say he's my favorite heel of 2019.
I went 2 people.
Okay.
One of them you just mentioned, but I decided to go with David Ali. And he brings it. He makes people better in the ring when he wrestles. In the ring, technically, he makes everybody better. Makes them look better. He's got a great gimmick. He carries it well, and he doesn't. It seems he doesn't care when people are yelling. There's some hateful stuff yelled at David Ali, and he still continues on, so he can just bring it, and it's consistent. And I think both of those cats bring a consistency to the heel character, which I think sometimes everybody wants to be the cool heel.
Yeah.
I think it's cooler to be the hated heel.
And they do it so well. This next one, Babyface.
Thought about this.
Okay.
I mean, this was probably the toughest one.
I feel like I have your answer.
Do you?
But I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I thought about it. Again, I had to do my research, looking at things, and I went with Lexi Gomez because when she originally came out, she was in a mixed tag team with Preston Paradise against Johnny Maverick with
Chalandra
Royale, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, cool, a female heel, and then she switched. And then has just become really one of the favorites, fan favorites, is Spinebuster.
The name in itself says it, the face of that wrestling.
Yeah, she really brings a strong representation to the female division as their champion now at Havoc. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do in 2020.
Okay. Mine I got was, so we didn't have the same answer. Mine was going to be Hunter Young.
Look.
Because of what he does for the whole promotions of Sunbelt.
Yeah.
And I think that idea of being the Wrestling with a Message champion, you see him out there an hour before the shows, shaking hands. Not really.
Shaking physically. That would be he would be a heel then.
Yeah. Shaking hands with fans, taking pictures, trying to talk to everyone and anyone. He's very respectful in the sense of who he is. And so that's why I say he's like the face of 2019 to me.
Good call.
We're here to your favorites, Dave, and I'm interested to see who you picked.
You go first.
Tag Team of the Year awards. This one's may surprise some people. As much as we rag on them, I'm going to have to go with the team of Hunter Mako and Preston Paradise as a Tag Team of the Year. As much as they cheat individually in their singles competition, when you see those two together, it's straight power. It's something that they don't need to cheat. They can dominate at every aspect of the wrestling faction that is there. So they're my Tag Team of the Year.
All right, this is a tag team we've seen them as singles, and then they formed a tag team, BTB.
BTB.
Big Time Boys. They balance each other out, and you see them work every time when they come into the ring. You can tell that they've worked on stuff. Every match is just like, man, they're just a little bit better. Also, they bring a lot of energy amongst the crowd. I just dig their gimmick. I like what they're doing. So I like a little bit of just the energy they do. It's not always high flying. They mix up the high flying with the technical wrestling stuff, and so it's a little bit for everybody on that one. So that is my tag team of 2019.
Wow. And so if you have any suggestions, we'll be posting these out every day this week to see who is your tag team, who is your babyface, who's your heel, what's the favorite match, what was the favorite feud of the year, and we hope to have your participation in it. And just to bring it to a close for 2019,
yes,
remember, we want to be Taco Bell famous.
We do.
Subscribe to our YouTube page. We are working on new content for 2020. 2020 is supposed to be a huge year for the Professors of Wrestling. Like the Facebook page, let us know what you think, and provide us with feedback and suggestions. Follow us on the Instagram at Theprofessorsofwrestling. Share it all, spread the word, join in the discussion, because we want to be a community.
We do.
So, I'm Dorrian. You can find me on social media at D2Baber.
I'm Dave. I'm at justaprofessor, Instagram and Twitter.
And that has been a year.
Thank you.
Dope.